Hi, I'm Shane from Wedding Win, and today I'm with Laura from Peninsula Ridge Estates Winery. Thank you for joining us, Laura.
Thank you for having me here.
So, Laura, tell me the history about Peninsula Ridge Estates Winery.
So Peninsula Ridge Estates Winery is owned by Norm Beale, and Norm Beale was the food and beverage manager for Ontario for many years. He made a living in both the States and in Canada, and then about 25 or so years ago, he decided to buy a winery, and he bought Peninsula Ridge Estates Winery, and he's been running it ever since.
Oh, great. Okay, so I know you guys do a number of events there, but here on Wedding Win, we're interested in weddings. So tell me about what you can do for couples and their weddings at Peninsula Ridge.
Wonderful. So for weddings for couples, I've been in the industry for more than 30 years. I've worked a lot in Toronto, so I'm very happy to be in the Niagara area now. What we can do is full packages with, everything from the venue space to all the details that brides are looking for. So that includes, we have a 4.8 rated chef and restaurant, so our food is fabulous. Our wine is from the winery, so wine's made on site. We have a gorgeous vineyard, pristine vineyard, beautiful view of Lake Ontario because we're on the Niagara Escarpment. So apart from food and wine, we have a gorgeous venue space, which is both accommodating for if it rains. We have, A and B. So, if it's A, we can do a ceremony on site. Ceremonies take place on the right-hand side of the restaurant, and it's gorgeous. We bring in the chairs. We have the bride come out through the grass. The guests are all waiting. It's wonderful. We also have, if it rains, we have plan Bs because we have a completely enclosed back deck that has a beautiful awning above. So if it's raining, we can also host events on the back deck.
Oh, great. Mm-hmm. So what sets your venue apart from other venues in the area?
We can host all events all year long. We're not just a seasonal summer location. The coach house is fully heated. We can do inside and outside events. There's a lot of space there. So people, will look at the coach house as a space of this size. But once you actually visit the winery, it's quite large. There's an entire side deck that people can use. There's the back deck that is fully enclosed. So it overlooks the vineyards, and there's free parking. So there's a lot of parking on the other side of the retail. And it's just a really great space. I mean, even in the front, when you walk up, there's a lot of space where there's two benches. So people really utilize the whole space there. Like they take full advantage inside and outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Can you share an experience you had at a wedding that was really memorable at your venue?
Memorable weddings. Well, I actually, it's funny. I just was talking to a couple the other day, and I was saying to the young people right now, for whatever reason, do not want to have cakes. They want cupcakes, they want sweets, they want things different. And I'm always telling them, please just have a small cake, even if it's a 4-inch cake, a little cake, because cake is one of those things that the tradition dates back many years, and there's a lot of history with cake being at a wedding. But when you don't have a cake, people miss the picture of the bride and groom taking the knife and taking that picture. So we recently, last year, had actually not one, but 2 weddings where the aunts of the bride, both at 2 separate weddings, made the husbands go down to the ice cream place and get a cake because the aunties were not having anything to do with their young nieces getting married. They wanted the cake, they wanted the picture, they wanted the cake to be cut with the bride and the groom. So it's just, you see funny things with families. And I mean, everybody thinks that their family's different. All families are the same. It's, there's everybody from here to here in all families. So it's kind of funny to see each one coming in.
Can you walk us through the different wedding spaces available on your property?
Absolutely. So our retail store is quite large. It's a reconstructed barn. So the gentleman who used to own the property, it's there's quite a history with the property. So you can actually host cocktail receptions or weddings not only in the coach house, But if you have more than, say, 80 or 90 people, if you have 120 or 140, we can host cocktail receptions in the retail store, which is great because you could have a cocktail reception almost in the retail space and then come over for a nice dinner, or you can have tastings. There's lots of opportunities. We also have the restaurant on site. So the restaurant is a fabulous old house. It's a red brick house that, you know, can host lunches and dinners. So we're open Wednesday through Saturday for lunch and dinner. And then Sundays we do a really fabulous brunch. So Sundays afternoons are family days, it's brunch days. So we can actually put packages together for brides and grooms where we could have, you know, pretty much everything on site. You can have your rehearsal dinner, you can have your ceremony, your after, you know, wedding. When you have everybody on the next day, you could have a brunch there. So it's really a fabulous venue space for hosting.
Oh, great. Now, do you guys offer tastings for the couples?
So we don't offer tastings per se. What we do is anybody who wants to come and taste the food is more than welcome to go to the restaurant. The restaurant food, it's the same chef. So we actually have 3 kitchens. So there's the very large kitchen that's in the basement of the restaurant. Then there's a working kitchen upstairs, and then there's a kitchen in the coach house. So although we don't do tastings for the bride and groom, they're more than welcome to go to the restaurant. And chef is really good about working with me that we can, you know, have sort of the same sauces and sides and things that are served with our event menu. The event menus are quite special. So being that we're smaller size kitchens, there's not a lot of stuff that's frozen. So everything for every venue is made in-house. It's made fresh. It's made the day of. But yeah, I absolutely try to work with them.
Laura, how would you describe the ambiance and atmosphere of your venue?
So it's a very inviting venue space. It's a rustic charm. What I will say about the coach house is it's a very welcoming space. You know, there's a lot of spaces where people go to where they're not comfortable walking into the venue space. The coach house is one of those spaces that if you're someone who doesn't like to go out very often and is a little maybe, you know, not as social as say your partner who's invited to the wedding, you're comfortable walking in there. There's beautiful wood on the inside. It's very inviting, and you feel comfortable when you walk in. And that being said, if you're someone who's used to 5-star restaurants and you're used to, you know, quality food and, you know, breathtaking views and the scenery that is around, that also is there for those folks in your life. And, you know, getting back to the point where I was saying every family is the same. Every family has people who don't like to go out very often, don't, you know, want to be socializing too much. And then you have the people that are just could go out every night of the week and socialize. So it really fits every realm of your friends and family.
So what kind of support can couples expect from your team?
So we have a great team on site. Coming from an industry where I was working as a chef, I mean, I used to be surrounded by front of house and back of house. I will say that the team there is a fantastic team. So everybody from basically the owner down all takes part in making sure that everybody's day is exactly the way they want it. So the people at retail, they know who's coming in for each event. They know what we're having. You can go into the retail store. They'll know you're on site. The people at the restaurant, everybody's really, really there to support the couple who are having their event, whether it be, you know, a wedding, a rehearsal dinner, a bridal shower. There's all kinds of things that go around weddings. So we're usually pretty on top of things.
And do you offer any like customization options for like wedding decor?
So all brides and brides-to-be, I should say, brides-to-be, that come in, everything is customized. So from the time they walk in and we have a meeting, it's basically their day. The space is theirs, I mean, within certain limitations, but the limitations are very, very minor. Basically we customize the day for their food that they want, for the bar that they want, I'm there to assist them whether they need photographers, florals. And, when it comes to florals, there's a lot of brides who, for example, there's a company called this company down the road. If you get florals from them, they could be, $2,000 or $3,000. I'm there to help brides say, you could go to Fortino's to get flowers. We have vases. We will help you. We have a floral supplier that we can get florals with. So it depends on the people's budget, what they want to have there for their day. But I sit down with them and sort of get a gauge of how they envision their day. Because there's a lot of people that want it to the nines. And there's a lot of younger people now that, luckily they're hosting smaller weddings, and they're putting, they're not so formal of the nines. They just want a really lovely celebration with their family and friends. They want to come in, they want to have the nuptials, beautiful dinner, some wine, and they just want to dance and entertain themselves. I will say most of my vendors, if I'm recommending a vendor, I have worked with them and I know them very well. So for example, there's a great group called the Blackstones. Wonderful recommendation, but I also know that I've seen them many times performing. So I feel wholeheartedly that I can say, yes, you can have these people at your venue space.
Yeah, tell me about some memorable events you've had there.
So we have had quite a few events that have been memorable. The one that stands out the most is we had a helicopter fly in, and it was a great event. The event went over very well. I went out and met him, and we walked in, and I won't say who it is, but that's the other thing too, is we're very discreet there. So if you have any helicopters around that you want to come in, we have space. And it's just great. That's why I'm saying the coach house is just, I so love working there, because it really is a fitting space for all walks in that you can possibly think of in life. So, all the weddings, if you want to have a smaller one, a larger one, if you want to have one with a lot of detail, a little minimal detail, it's easily doable.
And Laura, how do you make sure that each wedding reflects the couple's personal styles?
Oh, well, I take a lot of notes. So I'm someone whose memory sometimes is a little bit failing. So I take notes and notes and notes. We basically start a folder. We start an event sheet. Everything that the couple or whoever is booking the event, if it's we work with wedding planners or event planners or sisters, brothers, or whoever's coming in. We take a lot of notes and we create an event sheet. So the event sheet is our working document that goes back and forth. The event sheet is usually confirmed and signed off by the bride 2 to 3 weeks prior to event date, and we've usually gone over all the notes. So every little detail is on that event sheet. If a bride wants a signing table for where she's getting married, there will be a signing table there. If a bride wants a particular flower in a certain spot, it will be there. And we try to make sure everything's just perfect for how they envision the day, because, as weddings come and go, whether it's a first marriage, a second marriage, a third marriage, everybody sort of has an idea in their head of what they're looking for their special day.
Can you describe a typical wedding timeline at Peninsula Ridge?
Sure, absolutely. So generally what I recommend is weddings services to usually be done around 11 in the morning or 4 in the afternoon. Now, I had a wedding officiant give me a little bit of advice, which I took to heart because it was fantastic advice, because someone had mentioned to her that they felt that we were a little bit too stringent with times and a little too stuck with, the 11 and 4. So moving forward now, and I took that to heart. So now what I say to people is, if you want to get married at 6 o'clock in the morning, I will be here with the officiant and we can marry you at 6 o'clock in the morning. If you want to get married at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 8 o'clock at night, it doesn't matter. What we do recommend is 11 and 4, simply because the restaurant is opened from 11:30 for lunch till 2:30, and then it's open from dinner from 5 to 8 or 9 o'clock. So if you get married at 11 o'clock, you're in the space all by yourself. So where the chairs are set up, there's no one going to be at the deck. Same with dinner. If you're getting married at 4, usually ceremonies go from 4 to 4:30. And then you don't have any interruptions. Now, but if you want to have your marriage happen at 6 o'clock, that's fine. We can do that too, because there's a lot of space that you can make that happen. So it's very easy to do a timeline that works for you. There's, a lot of cultures get married at a specific time with the specific son. They have certain ideas that their parents and certain people want to see happen for their special day. We're happy to work with that.
Can you describe the process of like booking and planning a wedding at your venue?
Sure. It's actually pretty simplistic. There's brochures that go out. So usually what happens is someone will email me. I send out the brochures. We literally have a one-page event sheet. So to book a wedding, we're going to pick a date. I always say to brides, the three most important things when you're thinking about getting married. Number one, book your officiant. Because without an officiant, you're not getting married. You need the officiant, you need the proper paperwork to get married. Number two is do your venue space. And number three is any out-of-town property that you may require. Because those are the three things that book up very quickly each year. So they're the things that you should have your ducks in line. Everything else sort of falls into place. And everything else you can take your time doing, whether it be florals, entertainment, anything that goes along, suites or photographers, things of that nature. But yeah, no, definitely book those first. But yeah, it's a one-page contract. It's we pick a date and you put your deposit down. Once the deposit's paid, I can do the deposit over the phone. It's very easy. And then we just go from there, and everything happens on the event sheet, and the event sheet just has all the information and it's signed off. And usually 2 to 3 weeks prior to event date, you pay the first installment, which is everything except your beverage. And then the beverage is by consumption. So whatever your guests consume the night of your event is what your final bill will be.
Okay.
Okay. I should mention too, we have had occasions where we have done cash bars as well. We can do a cash bar, that's fine. And we've also had occasions where it's been a little bit of a mixture. That's why it's all customized. I work with the people when they come in. So whatever they're looking to have for their day is what we will go with.
What type of entertainment options are available or allowed at your venue?
Options are unlimited. We've had harpists, we've had violinists, we had a banjo come in. We've had all kinds of things so far. We can make recommendations. You can have a DJ come in. You can bring in 2 speakers and have your laptop come in. We have music that plays like jazz in the coach house that plays pretty much all the time, every day. We can use that for dinner music. There's great, I mentioned earlier, the Blackstones. They're a great band. There's a gentleman that, Michael, he's a guitarist. DJs, I'm sure in the industry, there's lots of great DJs out there and people that can do music. So whatever your heart's desire for dancing, everybody has their own tune in life. So whatever music you want to have, or if you just want to have something simple and a light, pianist or something or harpist come in, you're welcome to do that.
Great. So couples can party all the way till like 1 a.m.?
Well, generally we say we have had lots of couples there till 12:31. On the event sheet, it usually says midnight. By midnight, most of the time, people are ready to go because, it is a long day. People are going from, early in the morning, 7 or 8 in the morning, getting their hair and makeup done, and they're all excited. They probably haven't slept the night before because there's family and friends visiting. So usually people are done by midnight, but certainly if someone's there and they're having a great time and they want to stay till 12:31 a.m., we're fine for it.
Can you provide any tips for couples that are planning like a destination wedding to your venue?
Oh, for sure. So there's a couple of, I will say the difference between Toronto and Niagara, because I've lived in both Toronto and Niagara, and I traveled back for about 10 years. Beamsville, the Lincoln area, although it's only an hour drive from Burlington, not even an hour, from Burlington, Oakville, and Toronto, it's basically at the Grimsby exit where Bartlett is. And if you're coming from Niagara, it's the Ontario Beamsville exit. So it's in sort of a smaller section on the escarpment there. But one of the things for destinations is to book the hotel. So there's the Inn on the 20 that's fairly close by. That's the only downside of the winery is that we don't have accommodations on site. But there's plenty of Airbnbs around There's some great hotels. There's the Inn on the 20, which is a fabulous thing. White Oaks is just at the Glendale exit, so everybody knows about that White Oaks, so they have a hotel room. So there's lots of things we can do to plan a destination wedding for you and your guests.
And why should couples pick Peninsula Ridge for their special day?
Why should they pick Peninsula Ridge? Well, I'll be honest with you. There are a bounty of places and wineries in the Niagara region. One thing we do have is me, myself, and I. I mean, I love the wedding business. I love the industry. It's never been about a job to me. I've been doing it for a lot of years. I truly love where I'm working now. So there's always been that glitch where you've been in an industry where you've loved what you've done for a living, but perhaps you've had to jump hoops through corporate organizations. There's a lot of companies, you know, for example, like the Toronto, like, I won't mention any names, but like convention centers, very fancy hotels. Usually there's a chain of people that you have to get yeses and nos from. So what I love the most about Peninsula Ridge is we're very easygoing, we're very adaptable, we're very accommodating. There's a lot we can do if you just ask us and you come to visit. So there's, you know, we're easy to work with. So, and I'm on site, so you don't need a wedding planner. If a wedding planner comes, I'm happy to work with a wedding planner. I love wedding planners. But if you don't have the money to afford a wedding planner, I'm happy to help you out as well. I'm on site all events. So every event I'm there from 9 o'clock in the morning until 1 o'clock in the morning. So if anything happens, we've already had the communication and we've already spoken about it, and I've already know how you want to see your day roll out, and I'm there to help you. If you need someone to help fluff the dress, I'm very good at it, and I will help make sure you go down the aisle. But yeah, no, it's just I really, truly love working at this winery, and I'm hoping to grow the business. I found that a lot of people don't know about the Coach House. I really, truly think that it's a space that is welcoming for people. It's a space that is affordable, because a lot of people are watching their money, so it's very affordable. And you get great food, great service, beautiful wine, beautiful scenery, and it's a really, really special spot to host a wedding.
Laura, well, thank you very much for joining us at Wedding Win. If you guys would like to visit Laura's website, it's peninsularidgeestatewinery.com, or you can visit her profile at Wedding Win in the link below. Thanks for joining us.